Welcome to Ganitika.com. This is a website for mathematics lovers, learners, and leaders. In this video, under the topic numbers, we are going to see how to rationalize an irrational number. Especially when these irrational numbers are in the denominator, it is very much necessary that these irrational numbers are rationalized in order to perform the division. So let's consider this irrational number, square root of 5. So in order to make this into a rational number, we will be looking into changing this to 5, which is a rational number that can be obtained by square root of 5. So in order to get 5 from square root of 5, we need to simply multiply this by another square root of 5, so that you will get a multiplication of the same irrational number, which gives you square root of 25, and you know that square root of 25 is equal to 5. Therefore, we have changed square root of 5 into a rational number 5 by multiplying it by itself. So when you multiply a square root number by itself, you are going to get a square root of a square number, which will be a rational number. What if the square root was in the denominator of a fraction like this? So we need to rationalize the denominator, which is square root of 5. So in order to change the square root of 5 in the denominator, we will multiply the denominator by another square root of 5. But since it is a fraction, we need to multiply the numerator also with the same square root of 5. Therefore, you will multiply the fraction with square root of 5 and divide the fraction with square root of 5, which means we are multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by square root of 5. And the final value for this will be 2 square root of 5 will be in the numerator. But in the denominator, you will have square root of 5 times square root of 5 giving you 5, which is a rational number. Which means the irrational number, which is square root of 5, has been changed into a rational number 5. So denominator is rationalized in this case. We know that irrational numbers are also called surds. But what are binomial surds? You know, binomial means an expression with two terms. So this is simply speaking a surd with two terms. So square root of 3 minus square root of 2 is an example of a binomial surd. It has two terms, and in this case both of them are irrational numbers, which we call as surds. So there are two surds involved in this, therefore it is a binomial surd. This is also another binomial surd. So square root of 2 plus square root of 5, they have two irrational numbers and two terms, therefore they are called binomial surds. This again is also called binomial surd, even though the first term is not an irrational number. But together it is an irrational number. 3 plus square root of 2 is an irrational number, which is a surd. And since it has two terms, we call this as a binomial surd. This again is a binomial surd, even though the second term is a rational number. Since the first term is an irrational number, we call this as a whole as an irrational number. These two are also examples of binomial surds because both the terms are irrational numbers. So these are some of the examples of binomial surds. So what is the conjugate of a binomial surd? If I have a binomial surd, example square root of 2 minus square root of 3, its conjugate is square root of 2 plus square root of 3. Another example, if I have 3 plus square root of 5, its conjugate will be 3 minus square root of 5. So you can see that the second term is changing its sign. In all the cases, in order to get the conjugate, you keep the first term as it is, but the second term should be changing its sign. So what will be the conjugate of this binomial surd? Square root 2 minus 3. So the second term is minus 3. The first term is square root 2. So square root 2 stays as it is. The second term minus 3 becomes plus 3 for its conjugate. Another example, minus square root 3 minus square root 5 becoming minus square root 3 plus square root 5. You should notice here that minus square root 3 remains as it is as minus square root 3. There is no change in its sign, or the number that is in the first term is never changing here, but the second term changes its sign. And in all the cases, the first term, whether it is negative or positive, remains the same, and the second term changes its sign. Therefore, a conjugate of a number a plus b is a minus b. And also we can say the conjugate of a minus b is a plus b, which means technically a plus b and a minus b are conjugates of each other. So we maintain the a as it is. There is no change in the first term a. But the second term plus b becomes minus b, or minus b becomes plus b. So if you change the second term's sign, we get the conjugate of the original term. So a plus b and a minus b are conjugates of each other. A plus b is a conjugate of a minus b. A minus b is a conjugate of a plus b. So what's the use of this? Let's say I have a binomial surd square root of 2 minus square root of 3, and I want to multiply this by its conjugate, which means I'm multiplying conjugates of a binomial surd with each other. If I multiply these two brackets, I have to multiply term by term like this, and the next term would give me these two terms. You can say that the first two, square root of 2 times square root of 2 would give you 2, and the last two would give you 3. Since you have a minus sign before that, I have minus 3. What about the middle two terms? They are square root 2 times square root 3, but with the opposite signs. Therefore, they get cancelled. What you are left out is with these two terms, 2 minus 3, together will give you minus 1. Therefore, when you are multiplying a binomial surd with its conjugate, the final value will be a rational number. It is always true. When you multiply conjugates, you will get a rational number. So this is the use of conjugates. So let's try with another example. Term by term multiplication will give this, and the middle term would be cancelling with each other because they are equal and opposite sign. The extreme terms will give you 3 here and minus 5 here. The subtraction will give you negative 2, which is a rational number. So let's see where you are getting this 3 from. The 3 is got from multiplying the first terms, and 5 is got from multiplying the last two terms, but the negative sign is obtained from multiplying the minus and plus sign in between them. So this is technically first two terms multiplication minus the second two terms products will give you the final rational number. So in general, if you have a root of a plus root of b multiplied by root of a minus root of b, which is its conjugate, the first term and first term multiplication minus the second term and second term multiplication will give you the final value, which is a minus b, and it is a rational number. So again, repeating this, multiplying the conjugates with each other gives you a rational number. So this is very important for us to proceed further. Now we are going to see actually how to rationalize an irrational denominators. Now we are going to see how to rationalize irrational denominators. And for this we will be using this property of conjugates multiplied with each other gives you a rational number. So let's see this particular fraction with binomial surd in its denominator. And in this case, the numerator is a rational number already, but we are looking into rationalizing the denominator. So the denominator is now an irrational number, and it is also a binomial surd. So if you multiply this by its conjugate, you are going to definitely get a rational number as an answer. But since it's a fraction, we need to multiply the numerator also by the same number, which is the conjugate of the denominator. So you multiply the numerator by the conjugate of the denominator, and you multiply the denominator also with the same number. And what you will be getting in the numerator is multiplication of 3 times square root of 3 plus square root of 2, which is the conjugate of the denominator. And the denominator would be 3, which is square root of 3 times square root of 3 n terms, minus square root of 2 times square root of 2, the second two terms, which will give you the numerator. But the denominator is now 1, which is a rational number. Therefore, the final answer for this fraction is 3 times square root of 3 plus square root of 2, which is an irrational number. However, the denominator is rationalized. That was our aim. We needed to rationalize only the denominator, and if you have an irrational number in the numerator, it's not our concern. So let's do one more example. 3 plus square root of 2 over 8 minus square root of 5. And you can see that both of them are binomial surds. You have irrational numbers both in the numerator and the denominator. but we are only looking for rationalizing the denominator, as I said before. So even if there is even if there is an irrational number in the numerator, we are not going to consider that, and we are not going to do anything. Even if you have an irrational number in the numerator, we are not going to change that into a rational number, while we are only concentrating on changing the denominator into a rational number so that we can actually do the division. Now, in order to change the denominator into a rational number, we need to multiply the denominator by its conjugate, and since it's a fraction, the numerator also should be multiplied by the same number. Again, I am repeating, the numerator should not be multiplied by its conjugate. It should be multiplied by the conjugate of the denominator, because only then you will get it as multiplication by 1. Again, I repeat, the numerator should not be multiplied by its conjugate, but by the conjugate of the denominator, and be careful about this. When you multiply, you get the numerator as the product of the two binomial surds, and the denominator would be 8 times 8 is 64. There is a minus sign in between them, and square root 5 times square root 5 is 5, which is a rational number. So 64 minus 5 is in the denominator, which is a rational number now. So expanding the numerator, you will get this, and the denominator simplification will give you 59, which is a rational number. You can see that the denominator has been changed into a rational number now. Simplifying the numerator, you will get this as your final fraction. And you cannot simplify this further because all the terms in the numerator are unlike terms and you cannot add them together. So this is your final simplified answer for the surd given. Thanks for watching, and I hope you understood and I think you understood how to rationalize irrational numbers and how it is used to rationalize the denominators of irrational fractions. Happy learning from Ganitika.com. If you have not registered in this website, please register now for free. Bye-bye.